All right, very good evening. You're welcome along to the inaugural Off the Ball Inter-County GAA quiz. It's all in aid of the Dublin Neurological Institute. We have got 8 inter-county superstars waiting patiently to take part and 2 legends of the game as quizmasters. But before I hand over the reins, I want to remind you why we're all here tonight and why everyone here is giving so freely of their time. The Dublin Neurological Institute at the Mater Hospital, well, it aims to offer high quality and compassionate service to all patients suffering from neurological conditions in a timely and efficient manner. And like all charities at the moment, their fundraising has been massively affected by the COVID crisis. So this evening, we're going to try and raise some money for them. And all we're asking you, the listener, to do is to log on to gofundme.com/Jim-Gavin. That is gofundme.com/Jim-Gavin. We'll put that up on all of Off the Ball social channels as well to make it very easy. And we're just asking that you make a €20 donation. And if you do that, you're going to be in the running for a money can't buy prize, because one lucky winner is going to win a training session for their club with Jim Gavin, and O'Neill's will also provide your team with a full kit. Several more prizes up for grabs as well, including 2 tickets for the All-Ireland football final and a stay at the Intercontinental Hotel. We remind you of that website throughout the evening as well. But let's get underway. There's a lot at stake tonight. There is pride of place at stake. And we're going to get over to our 2 quizmasters. First up, a man who was the voice of Gaelic games for so long. It's brilliant to have him with us. Mícheál Ó Muircheartaigh, good evening.
Nathan, it's just to see a lot of people there at their ease, lying back as if the water will never end. Well, you could not imagine a year ago that in the middle of a week in the month of July, we'd all be indoors talking about quizzes and so on. But it's good to have them, and it's all for a very good cause. Now, I'll name the teams for people that will be listening. This is Wednesday. You know, Wednesday is Day Caidín, and Ian meant fast in the olden days. So the first fast of the week, Friday was Day Heen of the Big Frost. And it's Jim Gavin. He'll be asking questions. Now, who is Jim Gavin? He's the only Irish person ever to manage a football team at senior level to win 5 All-Ireland medals. The more the days go on, the more we're amazed and we wonder at how that was done. Easy win 1, maybe 2 gets more difficult, 3. When it comes to 5, I don't know what it must be like for the right of Jim. Jim has given a lot to the GAA. You know, he was involved in minor. He won an All-Ireland in 1995, won the National League. He was involved in the team that won the under-21 as it was at the time, All-Ireland. He was involved with the minors, and he's been involved with the senior level for a long time. He knows a lot. He's a Clare man. You all know that Clare won the first ever minor All-Ireland title. And the captain of the team, when he died, his medal was buried with him. So times have changed. Now, that's Jim. He's ready to be here. Now, the teams. We're beginning with the Dublin team. That would be Mossy Quinn and Paddy Andrews. Now, Mossy Quinn is a relation of all the Delaney's of Laois long ago. 5 Delaney's played for Laois at the one time. They were strong men, good footballs and so on. He played with Dublin. He played with Vincent and so on. He'll be partnered by Paddy Andrews. Paddy Andrews and the St. Bridget Club, a wonderful club. They cater for everything. All grades of football, all grades of hurling, ladies football, camogie, and there's a wonderful handball place there as well. So it's a good club that Paddy's attached with, and then we move on down to Kerry. David Morton and Kieran Donaghy. Now David Morton, a big man, usually a midfielder, the father, Ogie. I think he won 8 All-Ireland medals. I never saw them listed out. He doesn't bring them around with him to show them, but he did a bit of hurling in his time as well when he was in Gordonstown College. So he was an all-rounder. 8 All-Ireland medals by Ogie Morton. The son, David Morton, he's on the way. He's 2 already. And then Kieran Donaghy. For a long time, people thought he was only a junior footballer. He was only a basketballer. Suddenly, overnight, something happened. They're all saying, I mentioned one time, you know, that he was a good player, and I was told, he's a good junior player. He'll be all right. Let him alone. But we're all looking who is this fellow? That's 6'5" in height and he can jump up into the heavens. Kieran Donaghy, he's a better haircut now than he had then. He's David Moran here today. We move on now to the Mayo team. Cora Staunton, as good a footballer as I ever saw in a ladies' game. She has been in Australia for a while. She'll be back again when everything is right in Australia. A wonderful player, was it 4 or 6 All-Ireland medals? And her partner, standing on forward, as we say, on forward, the Cúl de Mayo will be Aidan O'Shea. Now, it's a great name, O'Shea. You know, they came from the Glens down in Kerry, very involved in football, put the heart and soul into it. That's the way Aidan O'Shea plays football. He'll give it everything he can. He'll keep going till the very end. And it really delights him when Mayo win. It hurts him when Mayo lose. I can see him winning an All-Ireland before too long. So that would be the Cora Staunton outfit and Aidan O'Shea. We come to Donegal. Tír Connell of Donegal, Eamon McGee and Neil Gallagher. It took years and years for Donegal before they won their first ever Ulster title. That was 1953. They went on and they improved by degrees and they came to reach the All-Ireland final way back 1992. Ulster was alive that time. Donegal had never played in an All-Ireland final. And I thought they hadn't much of a chance, really. The first time there, they didn't know what it felt like. I went up to Donegal for a few days before the final and they were all talking, what's it like? They were asking me, seeing that I was from Kerry and I saw Kerry, and what's it like to see your team run out in the field in an All-Ireland final? What's it like to see them win and so on? And I did my best, you know, to tell them what it's all like and to look forward to it. We'd have a great time. But those people representing the 4 counties will be answering questions. They're full of knowledge, but sometimes the knowledge doesn't come out, you know. It doesn't go in the right ear, and if it does not go in the right ear, it will not come out on the left. So Kieran, be ready for anything that happens. Gavin now will take the first round of questions. Good night and Liv Golair. The one thing is look forward to it and enjoy it. And if you don't be the winner at the finish, say, I will win next year. Away with you. A Reagan issues could get fall to him. Jim Gavin.
Good Mícheál. Thanks for the introduction. And as you said, yeah, may the best team win and be the best version of yourself. So here we go. I'm going to do round 1, I believe. We'll take a halftime break, and then we'll hand over to Mícheál for the second round before we conclude. So the first questions are for Dublin, for Mossy and for Mossy Quinn and Paddy Andrews. So Mossy, here's your 2 questions. What League of Ireland team was Paddy Andrews linked to in 2011? And a little hint, it wasn't Talca Rovers.
It was when Roddy Collins was manager of Sligo Rovers. No.
Don't be looking at me for hints. Yeah,
I could tell from Paddy's reaction. It was definitely when Roddy Collins was manager or someone. So because Roddy had decided Paddy had a future as a soccer player. So
told you this gag a few times in the past, Mossy. Got this wrong. Jesus Christ! That's wrong. Anyway, Sligo Rovers.
No, I know Sligo's wrong from your reaction. Go on, Paddy. Tell us who it is.
It was Monaghan United.
Okay, no score. So believe Nathan, the rules here are if you get an answer right, you get a point, and there's a group question for a goal at the end of each round. Yeah.
That's it. So there's a chance to score 1-4 for each team in each half, and if we need extra time, we'll go there as well. Great
stuff. Well, I can see all the players here, Nathan. They'll be trying lots of tricks to try to circumvent the answers. So
we're watching Donaghy closely. Don't worry. Donaghy and McGee are the guilty parties.
Okay. Second question from Mossy. What year did Paddy win the Dublin Senior County Championship medal with St. Bridget's?
2011.
Good man yourself. Paddy, question for you. How many championship games did Mossy play under myself?
None.
That's the correct answer. 0.
Thanks, Jim.
You only got a few more than you, Mossy, don't worry.
I think you retired before I got my hands in there, was it?
Before you retired me on my behalf. Yeah.
Okay. And your second question, Paddy, is against what county did Mossy kick 1-7 in an All-Ireland quarter-final? What county did Mossy kick 1-7 in an Ireland quarter-final?
Tyrone in the draw, was it? 05.
Yeah, and could you finish it off what year?
2005.
Very impressive. Yeah, Tyrone 2005. Well done. Okay. So how many points is that for Dublin at the moment, Nathan?
So 3 points now, and you can confer for your goal opportunity.
Oh, okay. Here's the question popping up on the screen. And it says, what was the total aggregate winning margin in our Ireland finals by Dublin's 5-in-a-row side? What was the total aggregate winning margin in our Ireland finals by Dublin's 5-in-a-row side? For a goal. You can confer, I think. Can they confer, Nathan?
They can confer, yeah.
Okay.
No Googling, Paddy.
15 was one.
1 and 13.
Oh, 5 in a row.
Yeah, but oh, sorry, yeah. 3 in 2015.
Is there a time limit on this now? Is there?
I can
edit this out, like we all like no to do this. This isn't going out till tomorrow.
3 in 15, and then it was a point in 16, a point in 17.
Point in 17.
Have to move you on there.
5 and 18 and 5 and 19 in the replay. What's that?
No, it was more. Tyrone was 6. And what was last year?
5 in the replay, I think, in the end. No.
So,
don't be looking at me.
Come on, lads.
If you know this, I know you know this. Add it up there, Mossy.
3, 4, 5. I think it's 17 in total.
I'm happy with that. I'll go with you, Smalls.
Well, Aidan, what do you reckon?
Spot on.
Well done.
Right?
Well done.
Is it?
Yeah.
I just
Fair play,
reminded
Mossy.
Paddy. It was 6 points last year, Paddy.
Was it?
6 against Tyrone.
6
I was
against
already up
Tyrone
on the
and 6
premium
against
level at that
Kerry.
stage. Like.
All
What's
right.
the total score there for Dublin, Nathan, for round 1?
Very impressive start. 1-3 for Dublin.
Okay, very good. 1-3 for Dublin. Okay, on to Kerry, to David and Kieran. David, your first 2 questions.
Right.
Kieran played against Kerry in the Underdogs TV program in 2004. What other player on the Underdogs team won an All-Ireland medal?
Pierce O'Neill.
Good man. Very good. That's a point to Kerry.
Good answer.
And your second question, David, is how many goals did Kieran score in our Ireland finals? You don't need to give us the year. But how many goals did he score?
You can't count Paul Durkin's gimme there.
Any thoughts?
4.
What do you think, Nathan?
I think you're spot on.
4, yeah.
Pressure's on my
1 in 2006, 2 in 2007, and 1 in 2014. Well done, David. On to Kieran. David won an All-Ireland Under-21 title in 2008. Who did Kerry beat in the final?
Kildare.
Oh man, that's correct. That's 3 points to Kerry, and for your to get a 4 point. Who partnered David in midfield in the 2014 All-Ireland final against Donegal?
Anthony Maher.
Very impressive. 4 points off the spin for Kerry. So here's your goal question, and again they can confer. So David's father, Ogie, is one of 5 players to have won 8 All-Ireland football medals. Name the other 4. So David's father, Ogie, is one of 5 Kerry players to have won 8 All-Ireland football medals. Name the other 4.
Mikey, Jerpor, Pascalan, Paddy.
Yeah.
Mikey Sheehy, Jerpor, Pascalan, Paddy Shea.
What do you reckon, Nathan?
Wow. I think we made the questions too easy for the Kerry lads.
Think
And we're
so?
studying all day.
Well done. That's, what's the score there for Kerry, Nathan?
Full house, 1-4.
1-4. Wow. Well, okay, on to Mayo. Cora and Aidan. Questions just come through here. And starting with you, Cora. How many times did Aidan and his brother Shamey start together in All-Ireland finals? So how many times did Aidan and his brother Shamey start together in All-Ireland finals? You don't need to give us the year. Years.
Ooh, it's a tough one. I know Aidan has started them all. I don't know. I know Seamus hasn't. We'll say 4.
Wow, that's impressive. Yeah, well done. 4 is the answer. 2013, 2016, the 2016 replay, and again in 2017. Very good, well done. Your second question, Cora, is against what team did Aidan score a hat-trick in a Connacht final? Again, just give us a team, I'll give you the year.
Oh, I'm nearly sure it was Sligo in Castlebar.
Yeah, in 2015, the Connacht final.
Yeah.
Well done. That's 2 points for Mayo. Very good start. Aidan, over to you. What age was Cora when she made her championship debut from Mayo?
I think it's illegal now, but I think it's 13.
You're out by 1 year. It's 14. Any idea what she scored that day as a 14-year-old?
2-2.
10 points in 2006. 14-year-old.
Did she play at halftime as well, Jim?
What county, Aidan, did Mayo beat when Cora won the last of her 4 All-Ireland football titles?
I'm going to say Waterford.
It's Dublin in 2003. Okay, so that's I think that's 2 points for Mayo. And for your goal question, Aidan and Cora, here we go. It's coming up. Since last winning the All-Ireland final in 1951, the Mayo senior team's men have played in 11 All-Ireland finals, including replays. How many goals have they scored in those 11 finals? That's a tough question, whoever put that together now, I have to say.
It's a guess for me, Cora. I haven't a clue.
We're starting in 1989. Was that the first final?
I probably defer to Mícheál now on that one. Give you a hint, it's not too far off how many finals you played in, put it that way. A lot of goals were scored.
Well, there's including replays, did you say, Jim, yeah?
Yes, including replays, that's correct, yeah. That's what the question says.
So Aidan, if you get all the ones you played and we'll guess the ones from there.
I can't even remember how many goals we scored.
Kerry lads have to name 4 of the most famous footballers of all time, and you have to work this out.
I know. Yeah.
I'd have a better chance of getting the goal scorers. Never mind the amount of goals. I'd say it's about 15 or 16, Cora. I'd say go in around that.
Yeah, go. I'm happy to go whatever. We'll go with the higher. We'll go 16.
Okay, it was 12 goals. Nathan, I don't know who was that. Did you put these questions together?
I screwed over my own county.
Yeah, thanks, Nathan.
They were difficult questions now. Okay. On to Donegal, Eamon and Neil. So Eamon, to start off with you, first of all, your first question is, who started alongside Neil in midfield in the 2007 league final win over Mayo?
I'm going to go with Steve McDermott.
No, the answer is Kevin Cassidy.
Cassidy. Oh, jeez. I thought Cass was dropped that year.
Your next question, Eamon, is Neil scored a goal in the 2013 Donegal County Final. What team did Glen Swilly beat in the final? That's the question. Neil scored a goal in the 2013 Donegal County Final. What team did Gwen Swilly beat in the final?
Kelly Beggs.
That's correct, Nathan, yeah?
Yeah, that's the one.
Well done. Great stuff. That was a tough one. Neil, over to you. Eamon memorably won the county title with Guidor in 2018. Who did they go on to beat in the Ulster football final that year?
Scotstown.
Well done. And your second question, Neil, is between them, how many All-Stars have Neil and
Go on with that question. Between Neil is 3 and Eamon is none. So the answer is 3.
That's it. Neil has won all 3. Well done. What scores it now for it's 3 points for Donegal?
3 points out of 4, yeah. 3 points out of 4.
Good shooting. Here's your here is your goal question for Donegal. So for Neil and Eamon. How many major finals have players from Donegal represented the Republic of Ireland at? That's a tough question. So maybe how many major finals have players from Donegal represented the Republic of Ireland at? Maybe give me the players first, might help you.
Paddy, Shea Gavin.
Yeah.
Coleman.
And the guy who plays with the Toffees.
Coleman.
That's it. So how many finals did those 3 guys play in?
88, 90, 94.
For Packy, yeah. Okay.
2002 for Gavin.
Yeah. Did he play in any others?
Or say 1 for Coleman.
Yeah. And how many did Shea Given play in?
2002.
Yeah.
World Cup.
Any more?
How long now? Was it around there? We'll say 6.
Your 6 is correct. So Packy 88, 90 and 94. Shea Given 2002, 2012, and Coleman in 2016. Well done. So I think that's 1-3, I reckon, Nathan, for Donegal.
Certainly is. Apologies again to the people of Mayo.
They were tough questions. Or as Larry would say, didn't suit you.
Still plenty of time for a comeback, though. Don't you worry about that.
Okay, so what are we on to? That's half time coming up now, Nathan, is it?
Yeah, certainly is. So halftime scores, we have Kerry on 1-4, Dublin and Donegal on 1-3 apiece, and Mayo on 2 points.
Okay.
But as I say, a long way to go.
Long way to go.
So a reminder again of why we're here this evening and what we want people to do. We're here because of the Dublin Neurological Institute at the Mater Hospital, who provide a brilliant service, but unfortunately their fundraising has been affected by the COVID crisis. So we're trying to raise some funds this evening. And what we're asking our listeners to do is to log on to GoFundMe.com/Jim-Gavin. That is GoFundMe.com/Jim-Gavin. And if you make a €20 donation, you're going to be in the running to win a training session for your club with Jim. Jim is going to travel anywhere in the country and going to provide his time. So this is very much a money can't buy prize for your team. And also whatever winning team it is, O'Neill's are going to provide that team with a full kit. And there's several more prizes up for grabs as well, including 2 tickets for the All-Ireland football final. So that is GoFundMe.com/Jim-Gavin. And we've that up on all our social channels on Off the Ball as well. I think it's time for Mícheál Ó Muircheartaigh to come back into the fold.
Indeed. Now, the questions are amazing and the answers are more amazing at times. Now, it's going very good now. You mentioned Tim Lynch early on. I know Tim for a long time. His father was a noted man in the War of Independence. He was there in 1916 and all this. So it's a wonderful cause that Tim is promoting this quiz for. Now, well done so far. The best is yet to come, I hope. Now, am I supposed now at this stage to tell a few stories? Would that be right?
Do.
Fire away.
Entertain the masses here.
Yeah. I thought I'd pick a few strange people. The first person I picked was Eamon O'Duffy. Eamon O'Duffy, he was a Monaghan man. He was the first commissioner of the Garda Síochána, even though he wasn't in the Garda at all. He was a great man for ideas. And he wanted Dublin to win a hurling All-Ireland, so what did he do? He brought every hurling Garda in the country that had won All-Ireland medals and so on. They were all brought to Dublin, and they had to play for Dublin in the championship of 1927. They waltzed through it and won it easily. His idea was wonderful, so never reject somebody that comes with a good idea. He brought them all in, people that had All-Ireland medal with Limerick and Tipperary and Kilkenny and Cork and so on. They came from all over, and they had to, once they came to Dublin, they were Dublin people. You must play your hurling for Dublin.
Is Mossy, that sounds exactly like the Vincent's transfer policy the last few years.
No, it's been our crowds. It's Vincent's our crowds.
He did then.
Same story, really.
In football, the Railway Cups began in the 20s, and an all-Kerry team won for Munster. Paul Russell was on it. For the following year, he was selected again. But Eamon O'Duffy said, you are a Garda. You have to play for Leinster. Now, he was picked to play for Munster. He had no connection with Leinster. He had to play for Leinster. He won a Railway Cup at Munster. 1 year, the following year, he won and won. That was all Eamon O'Duffy's goal. He tried the same type of thing with Monaghan. He declared a sort of an emergency up around Monaghan, and football Gardaí from all over the country were brought to Monaghan. They reached the All-Ireland final of 1930, but they didn't win it. The plan didn't work there. That was Eamon O'Duffy, an extraordinary man, always thinking, what could I do next? The next person I'll mention now, he was a much calmer type of person. You all heard of Jack Lynch. Jack Lynch won 4 hurling All-Irelands in a row for Cork, 41, 2, 3, 4. They were beaten in the hurling in 44. And then, didn't he step in 45 on the football team, and it was his 5th All-Ireland in a row, back to win another hurling the following year. He won 6 in a row. 4 hurling, 1 football, another. He was an amazing character. Do any of you know anybody that on the one day played 3 matches? It was St. Patrick's Day. He played for his club in the morning on his way to Croke Park. The club was civil service. He went to Croke Park then. He played the full match in the semi-final of the Railway Cup in hurling and football. 3 matches in one day, and he made nothing of it. He was a wonderful character to meet. He was full of story, and he'd spent his whole life, he'd talk about Christy Ring. There was nobody else like Christy Ring to him. They played together for several years. And one little letter I saw one time that gives Jack Lynch as he really was. I think he had won about 12, if not 13, club medals with the Glen and Cork. He was elected to the Dáil in 1948, retired at the end of 1950. Finished with hurling. He played his 4th hurling match in 1936, the opening of the stadium in Killarney. But then, as the year going, the first year of his retirement, the Glen got to the county semi-final. And somebody wrote to Jack, would you make a comeback? We need you. And I was shown the night that his body was brought to the church, I was shown the reply. They came back. Somebody wrote him, would you make a comeback? They showed me the letter, what was in it. Thank you very much for inviting me back and to think of me. But I will not do it, because it would mean that very promising young player that's on the team would lose his place for the sake of giving a has-been another medal. So thank you for thinking of me, but I'll be down, cheer the Glen on. He did go for the semi-final and final, and they won. I think that told you the type of man he was. Have I time, Nathan, for one more?
Go on. We've all the time in the world. Fire ahead, Mícheál.
Now this, in a way, the most amazing man I ever met. He was born in Kildare. The family moved to Rathfarnham in Dublin in the early 1900s, the very early. Finished with primary, he was sent down to Knockbeg College in Carlow, brought his hurley with him, only to be told, cricket is the game of our school. You don't play that game. Put up with the cricket for a year. Summer holidays, later on, walking down Rathfarnham, he saw a notice in the window. Padraig Pearse advertising Scoilena, the skull he had set up there up in Rathfarnham. And what appealed to Frank Burke was, down at the end of the page, O'Moin to Clehan na Scoile. Hurling will be the game of the school. He told me he raced home to tell his mother he was not going back to Knockbeg, he was going to the hurling school. That's where he went. That's where he got his second level education, played hurling and football, went on to UCD to study in UCD. And while in UCD, he won 3 Fitzgibbon Cup medals, 5 Sigerson Cup medals, 2 Junior All-Irelands in football with Dublin. He went on later to win 2 Senior Hurling All-Irelands with Dublin and 3 in a row in football. That was Frank Burke. He was in the GPO 1916. He told me how they marched down to Rathfarnham that morning, commandeered the tram, showed the driver that they had guns, first stop O'Connell Street into the GPO. He said, I will never forget walking out without hands up at the end of the week. But he was there. You know, he was friend of Padraig Pearse. He believed in everything Pearse preached and so on. And then he was in prison for a while, of course. Bloody Sunday came. He was playing in Croke Park on Bloody Sunday and he was marking Michael Hogan, the man that was shot. He was there at that time. So he was an extraordinary man. I used called to see him a lot. We never spoke anything but Irish. He'd speak about those days and those people. But to all he won, all the medals he won, there was no fuss about him. Hurling, football, junior, college and everything. That was Frank Burke. Neil, Aon Rodella Leragum. If I had time for one more, do I have, Nathan?
We do well to stop you, I'd say.
Huh?
Fire ahead.
Yeah, this won't be long because I know that the 2 Kerry fellas would like this. At the All-Ireland final, there was a man called Prendeville, a student in All Hallows College in Dublin. He was hell-bent in becoming a priest. He asked for permission to come out to play in the final of 23. He wasn't let out. But as the game time came closer, he decided to hell with it, I'd chance it. He took his boots and raced down to Croke Park, was only down the road, played his final, came back. You're not allowed in. You put football before God. We couldn't have you here. But as I said, he was hell-bent on becoming a priest. He went to Peter's College in Kilkenny. It was held against him there as well. You took the wrong option. He went to Kieran's College. He was eventually ordained. In a way, he went to Australia. And in no time at all, he was a bishop, the youngest bishop in history in Western Australia in Perth. He was there. I was there for the compromise rules one year. And I was delighted to see the stand, the Prendeville stand. I said, isn't it great to see a cricket ground and a Kerry man being honoured there? And I went into the office and I said, isn't it great in memory of a great Kerry man? Where's Kerry? They said, where's Kerry? They didn't know his name. And I knew he was dead since 1967. He said to me, would you like to meet him? The guy is named after. I said I wouldn't fancy it really. Upstairs, brought down the man. I told him my story. We honour people when they're dead in Kerry. His reply was, you must be a very innocent nation. Dead men pay no dollars. That man, which was me, gave 6 million for putting my name on that stand. It was great. I found his grave the next time I came. Sean Kelly came out, Tomas O'Shea came out, I think Owen Brosnan. and a few others. We went out to his grave. John Kelly made a speech there. We put flags over it. It was out in Carrickacta. He was a great character. When he was made a bishop, he sent a little piece from a psalm home to All Hallows. The stone once rejected by the builder has become the cornerstone. He got a wonderful reply back. We never to cease at the marvels of the Lord. And they gave him a great time when he came back as bishop. Because Shin Cuidas na Scéalta, there's wonderful people in the GAA ever, and they will be there forever. It's great to remember them now and again and to talk about them because they're all fascinating people. There's a lot of great people here. All of you will be not forgotten. You'll be remembered forever. Big Dina kind. What were they like when they were playing? So good night, really. We'll shortly have the second half, the second round, and the day is long. There's nobody in a hurry. The All-Ireland football final won't be until the 19th of December. I hope you're all there. Remarkable. You're okay, Nathan, still?
Mícheál, great stuff. Great stuff as always. Some brilliant stories. Your stories of Australia and the international rules are very different from the ones Kieran Donaghy tells from his trip to Australia with the international rules.
Oh, well, he can see things we can't see.
He certainly does.
He is an amazing man, you know.
Before we get started in round two, a reminder again, gofundme.com/Jim-Gavin if you want to donate and you want to win that training session with Jim. He'll go anywhere in the country, Jim?
Anywhere in the country, Nathan.
Anywhere in the country, and you get a full set of jerseys and kit as well for your team with thanks to O'Neill's. And this quiz, by the way, is with thanks to JT Megan and company, who I know have made a sizable donation as well to the DNI, which is more than appreciated because this has been a very difficult time for every charity around the place. All right, let's get underway with round two. Mícheál, if you thought the questions in first round were difficult, well, particularly our Mayo team, the questions in round two, Mícheál has set them, so I hope you know your history and I hope you've just been listening. You want to take it away, Mícheál?
Leon and Pook and Rudder Screen Cheffain, the fairy reads the things he wrote himself. This is for Mossy Quinn. I'm sure he'll know the answer. Dublin won the National League for the first time in 1953, beating All-Ireland champions Cavan in the final. How many St. Vincent players were on that starting 15 for that first league game ever by Dublin?
14, Mícheál.
14, Tom Cat the Gut.
Wow.
Who was the missing man?
The goalkeeper, don't know his name.
The goalkeeper, his name was Tony O'Grady from Airco. The only reason that the Vincent goalkeeper was picked, they didn't know how good he was. He was never tried. They had won 5 in a row. They were a young club. They were unbeatable at the time. Well done. Shin Keshtahe and the Guts and Mossy, a second one now for you. Now you look, you know, height of intelligence there now, the way you're looking at me. Name the Ireland Soccer International who played for Dublin in the All-Ireland Minor Hurling Final of 1983. Dublin will remember 83 as well. This is the Minor Hurling Final.
Niall Quinn, Mícheál.
God, you're too quick with the answer. I'd prefer to see you worried for a long time. The answer, Tashe Gast. Perfect, well done. I knew you'd be up to it. That's a bit of the Delaney blood.
Jim, I know that was, you were saying before, and that was a game you remember well?
We'll go on now to Paddy.
It was Nathan. Yeah, my Niall Quinn was full forward in that team, that Dublin minor team, and my brother Barry was top of the left, number 15 that particular day. So as a 12-year-old, grown up, it was certainly it was a memorable occasion. I vividly recall being in the Cusack stand at that particular day. And that would have been, my brother would have been a huge inspiration for me in terms of playing with Dublin. But obviously around that time, we've spoken a lot about, I suppose, Jack Tartan and the I suppose, the iconic status he has in sport, in Ireland in particular, and the great memories that his management team and his football team in the 80s and 90s gave us. And for me, growing up in Dublin in the early 80s, like there wasn't, the football team were doing okay. Obviously the 70s, I wouldn't remember it that well, but like they went into the Dublin team who won in 83, were going into the Leinster final that year against Offaly, who were going for the 4 in a row Leinster titles. They would have obviously beaten Kerry in 82, but they would have played Kerry in the 81 final as well. So players that I had the good fortune of playing with at the back end of their career, early in my career, likes of Kieran Duffy would have been an iconic player in my eyes, one of the best forwards I've ever played with Dublin. But you had Anthony O'Toole full forward. Dean's dad, Barney Rock, was in the corner with Joe McNally. Dean got some great goals that year, or sort of say Barney did, against Cork in the All-Ireland semi-final, both in Croke Park and the replay down in Porky Quave. I said that Kieran was playing wing forward. You had Tommy Conroy from Vincent's, John McCaffrey as well. John Caffrey, should I say, from the Fina. Brian Mullins, Jim Ronayne in midfield, and a tough defence. Mick Holden in one corner, Ray Hazy the other. Who was the full-back? Jerry Hargan. Tommy Dron centre half-back, who led the way, and the captain. PJ Buckley from Erin's Oil, one wing back, and
a very good wing back.
He was. He managed me around Towers in Clondalkin for a good few years as well. Again, really tough as teak. And Pat Canavan from Vincent's as well on the other wing, and John O'Leary in goal, again, who would have played with 95. So, like, as a 12-year-old, it was a memorable year, and it really gave me a great passion for Dublin football. So, great times, great memories.
Yeah. So, good start for Mossy.
You mentioned John O'Leary. Now, he had a suspect hand pass, but before every game, he would speak to the referee and say, "People say I don't hand pass it correctly. If you watch it closely, I do it correctly." And he did something. Okay, you're doing it right. He was a good goalkeeper, really. He
was, Mícheál, yeah, super goalkeeper.
By the way, Billy Quinn, he was Niall's father. He was a fantastic hurler. 2 minor All-Ireland, and he did the thing that was never done before his time or after. He scored 3 goals in the league final against the toughest man in hurling at the time. He was known as the Diamond Hayden from Kilkenny. I remember the day when. He was a wonderful character and a great hurler, Billy Quinn.
He was a Tipperary, Mícheál, was he?
Pardon?
He was from Tipperary.
Oh, he was indeed, yes. And I knew him all his life. He used to be at Shelburne Park and Harold's Cross and betting here and there, and went to England for a while, came back. Now, time to move on to Paddy. He's sweating there for a while. It's not hard to see him that way, but he does belong to a great club. Paddy, name the Dublin player who scored 6 goals in a Leinster Championship game against Longford.
Jesus.
Long Paddy, you had him to the one of the medal presentations a few years back.
Sounds like something Berno would do now, but I think it's probably before his time, is it?
Berno got his photograph with him.
Go ahead. You have to give an answer shortly. Close your eyes.
I don't think that's going to help me out.
5 seconds to go.
Jimmy Keaveney now?
No. Jimmy is a lot of scoring. No, I won't give the answer. All these have been checked. Or will I give the answer?
Go on, give the answer. Yeah, give the answer.
Go on, put me out of your misery here.
Johnny Joyce. He died not too long ago. Johnny Joyce. He was always scoring goals. He scored 6 against Longford. One was described by some people as a known goal, but Joyce kicked it. It was into the net. It went from that. 58 was the year. And that was a good year for Dublin. So Johnny Joyce was the player. Now we move on now to Paddy for another question. You belong to a great club catering for all grades and this, that, and the other thing. What distinction do the Dublin Camogie team have? What distinction have they? The Dublin Camogie team. How many All-Irelands did they win?
How many All-Irelands did they win?
Pardon?
How many All-Irelands did the Camogie team win?
They hold the record for the most in a row.
In a row.
Oh, right. It's a puzzler again, that one.
And it was quite a lot.
7.
Mícheál, you're a little bit short. 10.
10. That's my next guess.
Listen to the record. They won 7. No, they won 8. Antrim beat them. And they followed up that defeat by 10 wins in a row.
They were robbed that day against Antrim as well. I remember. Ref shafted them.
8 wins out of 19 games. Yeah. And this has nothing to do with it. Kathleen Mills, she has the greatest number of All-Ireland medals in any code. She has 15 All-Ireland camogie medals with her. She was a fantastic player. She was the type of player lots of people used to go to see her play. I landed in Dublin in 1948. They were playing in a final. I went there to see Kathleen Mills. We had heard so much about him. There was no television or anything, but the radio had it and the newspapers had it. She was a joy to watch the hurling skill she had. She started way back as a young person and played a long time. She was always almost named as the bridge. You know, the new bridge would be put in her name. There may be some special year.
Yeah.
Another lady got it. It was the first one of all the bridges or anything crossing the Liffey named after a female. And I hope to see more of them. But that was Kathleen Mills. Hard to get it, but 10 in a row. That was some going, following 8 in a row. And Antrim were always good at the camogie. Now, I don't know how the scoring is going now. We have the gold question now.
Right, Mossy. Come on.
Of the 6 All-Ireland Senior Hurling Championships that Dublin won, how many Dublin players took part? 6 All-Irelands they have to their credit in hurling.
Dublin-born players.
Dublin-born players, yes.
Now, lads, if you listen to the story about Ó McNeil earlier on, you'll be able to answer this.
So over the 6 finals, how many Dublin-born players started or played in all of them?
Played at any stage. How many? They won 6 finals.
So your man adopted the Vincent's approach and just brought in lads from all over the country. So,
oh no, Duffy, yeah.
I know this was any one of the 6. That's brought in. There were 27.
Well, there wouldn't be more than, would it be a quarter of them? Paddy, what do you think?
A quarter of the 6 teams, yeah. Is that your answer?
No, it's probably less. I'd say 25 Dublin-born players.
Around the 20 mark.
You're totally off, man. I won the first 5 of the 6 without any Dublin man, any Dublin-born player. And for 1938, Jim Morton of Owen Rose, they later amalgamated, and he was on that team, start to finish. He's the only Dublin-born player that won an All-Ireland for Dublin. Isn't it amazing? They're Dublin hurlers now, which is good to see it. There's a lot of Dublin-born players there now. So I know the total is being added up there. I think they were hard questions in that.
They were they were tricky enough now.
They are later for the
next. We know it.
My advice now to the Dublin team would be, think the way Jim used to think. Think it way back. Look forward. For the next round is the important round now. We're moving on now to David Morton and Kieran Donaghy. They're representing Kerry. Beginning with David. Name the first Kerry man to win 7 All-Ireland senior football medals. The first Kerry man to win 7 senior All-Ireland football medals. I hear silence. You can hear silence.
Jim was giving the boys plenty of help now, me also.
His head was down.
We'll give you a dig out. It was 1931, 1932, 1937, 1939, 1940, 1941, and 1946. That long ago.
That makes 7, all right. But who was the man behind the 7?
At least it's not his dad is the answer again. All the other questions seem to be his dad for everything.
And make it a bit easier. He was your neighbour.
Oh, it's just his neighbour. Oh, okay. So, yeah. Either his neighbour or his dad.
I'm afraid it's a loser. Did you not hear? You're finished, are you?
Yeah, no, Keith, no.
That's it.
Oh. No.
And he lived down the road from you. And lived a long time. And don't tell anyone he was a Cork man. He was a Cork man that won, yeah. Now we're on to David now. What's Kerry's record in All Ireland finals in hurling? What's Kerry's record?
Played 1-1-1.
That's it, dead on. They were never beaten in a hurling final since then. And that took place in 1891. Now, to say they played barefooted. I wasn't there.
I got that year.
But that's the man. They won it, never won since. It was a bit later they turned to the football, but that part of Kerry, North Kerry, they were always hurling. They're hurling to this day in North Kerry. And I traced it back to the plantation of Queen Mary in 1654. She sent a lot of people from Laois and Offaly down to Kerry and gave the land that they had, and they had good lands up in Laois and Offaly at the time. She changed the name of Offaly to the King's County, changed the name of Laois to the Queen's County, and they played in All Ireland finals up to 94 under those names, the Queen's County and the King's County. But the people that went down, they took the hurling with them. And to this day, they have no time for football. You'd know that. They have it, there's nothing else happening. But hurling is their game since 1664. They brought it with them. Brishnan Dukas tre Hooligan Hit. Now we're back to Kieran. You ready, Kieran?
I am.
Fully ready. Your club is?
Austin Stacks.
Yes. In which year did Austin Stack captain Kerry to win an All-Ireland football final?
Jesus Christ.
I can hear that.
Sorry.
Yellow card.
Lift the head anyway.
1912.
Mícheál, not correct. Now, it was played in 1906, but it was the 1904 final. Yeah, and he was a big man in War of Independence, everything, 1916, and he was elected to Kerry Dáil while he wasn't able to go there, while he was otherwise engaged, they were saying, in England. He was a member of the Kerry team that won the prison All-Ireland out there. They were allowed to play football between the different counties that were playing. And Kerry won it. And then they decided that they'd have a hurling All-Ireland. The authorities said, okay, until they saw this big bag of sticks coming. They said, we're not giving a stick to everyone in the prison, so the hurling was never played. But, Shin Maravian, Austin Stacks, and he was a great character, you know, and I brought a hat of his. It was in the museum in Dublin. They gave it to me and I gave it to the Austin Stacks years ago, the hat that Austin wore.
Yeah.
And Céadra Delanish with Kieran's next one. The question is, Cora Staunton was out in Australia playing for the Greater Western Sydney team. And she'll be back again, you know, as soon as everything is right there and here, she'll be back again. But this is the question. Who was the first transfer from GAA to Aussie rules? That's for Cora. Or that's for Kieran.
For Kieran.
Now, who was the first to go to Australia?
Male or female or both?
Male.
Oh, I'd say Kerry man from the Stone, I bet you. I can't think of his name.
With the hands up, you're in deep thought.
I know he's from the Stone with moustache. He was a great jumper, a great leaper in the air. Do I have the right for
that? He was born in Glasgow.
Oh. No. She won't come to the count, Mícheál.
He was a great leaper. To this day, I think the highest ball that was caught in Croke Park was caught by him and the Kerry Miners.
In a minor final, yeah.
Yeah. The name won't come to you.
Confirm.
I was good at kind of doing a bit of cheating during the exam.
I know you're right. The time is up. Sean White, Dublin.
Yeah.
He was a wonderful at every game. He was great at cricket while he was in Scotland. He was great.
That could
He was only 2 years in the store when he was on the Kerry minor team and so on. So that's it now as we go on to the bold question. You could make up a lot now on this one. There's a goal. There's 3 points going for this and you can put your heads together. How many All-Irelands in a row did the Kerry ladies football team win? How many All-Irelands in a row did the Kerry ladies football team win?
I think they won 9 in a row.
Yeah, I know they won 10 in the flu. They definitely have 10 in it.
They had 10 medals.
They had 10 medals.
I think they lost one and came back the following year and won it. And that might have been. Do you think?
Yeah, cool.
10 in a row, we'd have.
Sean White.
You're going to leave me answer, so I didn't want to mess it up.
You're for 3 in a row here.
9.
You're dead right.
Oh.
9 in a row. I knew there's greatness in that head. So that's it now. As we move on now to the next stage in it, and this is the Cora Staunton and Aidan O'Shea. Beginning with Cora. Who invented the solo run in Gaelic football?
He's Mayo getting a hard deal.
Who invented?
Nathan's not trying not to be biased, I think, in this quiz.
Yeah, I didn't do these questions. This is all Mícheál.
Now they're easy questions if you know the answer.
We could do a bit of a
Any inspiration?
God, I've no idea. No idea.
No idea, yeah. So I'll tell you then. Known as Sean Lavin, L-A-V-A-N, he was Kilchimach. He was playing a game in Croke Park. The ball came to him. There was an open space in front of him. He was a man that competed in the Olympic Games of 24 and 28 as a 200-yard runner. He knew nobody would catch him. And he hopped the ball off his boot and kept going because nobody blew the whistle. And it was accepted from then on. Sean Lavin. And for the rest of his life, he was known as Baller Lavin from Kilchimach. And he was a great athlete. He was an all-rounder. He was a teacher. He went and studied medicine, became a professor in UCD. and kept up the sporting interest all the time. His name was Sean Lavin. Kishtadog or Cora. Mayo footballer Paddy Andrews, All-Ireland winner in 50 and 51. He had a nickname. What was it?
The Flying Doctor.
You're dead on. You said that with extreme confidence.
I think I could thank Aidan for that. A few years ago, he was on television talking to him. So.
Oh, very good. And he was flown home to play in the National League final against Carlow. So that's why he got the name, the Flying Doctor. Spent most of his life in America, came home every time, liked to see the games, loved the games all his life. He was a midfielder, he was a centre forward. So that was it. Now, Aidan, is this true that you went to America one time to meet him?
Yeah, I was lucky enough to meet him, Mícheál, as part of a toughest trade with AIB, and just happened that we were going somewhere close to his home house and made contact through a family friend. And yeah, it was lovely. I got to meet him when he came to the games here in Mayo. Unfortunately, he passed away last year, but a lovely, lovely man.
Oh, he was indeed. He was a real gentleman. He played the game, you know, and I never saw him foul anyone. His outlook on football was win the ball and do what you can with it. You know, he was great. He was great, and played. Came back home frequently. Went down to Wexford. His wife was from Wexford, and I don't think there are any Carneys left in Swinford where he came from. So you're right in that. The Flying Doctor. Now we're on to Aidan. You ready now? In one sense, this is a very easy question. Mayo were beaten by 1 point in the 1948 final against the reigning All-Ireland champions, Kerry. That was the first All-Ireland I saw. There was a dramatic finish to the game. What was it? A dramatic finish.
$1948. Mayo lost, did they?
1 point.
1 point. I haven't a clue, Mícheál. I'll just say last minute goal.
By Gavin.
By Gavin, yeah, last minute goal by Gavin.
No, there was no last minute anything. They were a point down. I can still see it. I could put a mark there. There was a 14 to Mayo. I'd say halfway between the centre and the Cusick. And Paddy Andrews was taking it, and the goal was lined, of course. But Mick Higgins moved out from the goal, fielded the ball, kicked it down the field, the game was over. Now it is said it must be 14 yards from the ball, but it was at an angle. And I know Mick very well, and Mick said it is 14 to the line, straight. And he said, I was more than 14 yards when I moved out. But that's what happened. They didn't win, but they went on to win in 15-51, and I saw those as well. They were a great team. There's rarely a bad Mayo team. They're always good. They always play football. It won't be long, maybe, when the Sam Maguire is going back again. But
it's quizzes where they struggle.
Exactly. But it was a dramatic finish. And it was my first All-Ireland in Croke Park, and what a day it was. By the way, the score at half-time was Cavan 3-3, Mayo no score. The wind was strong. Came back to when they were level. But Cavan broke down the field and got another goal. It was 4-5 to 4-4 at the finish. You know, lots of scoring. Only Ty scored 2 goals and so on. Now, the goal question. John Allen was a famous GAA footballer. John Allen. How many county teams did he play for at senior level? And name the counties. Now that's a question. How many teams did he play for?
Do you know him, Cora?
No idea.
It's a long time back, but
We're going to struggle to pick the county, so.
the answer. Kieran was the answer.
He obviously played for Mayo, of course. That's one.
Now only 3 more now.
We'll go
So it's 4 in total.
Maybe Dublin and Common or somewhere like that. He
must have worked for the ESB or something.
Yeah.
He worked for
Ulster Bank.
Ulster Bank.
the bank.
So he must play for some border county. So
Yeah, Common or Galway maybe.
Get one more of them and we'll give you a.
Always right.
Anyway.
Mayo.
Hey, don't that sort of thing.
Keep going.
we have a chance of winning anyway, so it's all good. Cavan, by any chance?
You're right. Anymore? We have Mayo, we've Galway, we've Cavan. There's 1 more now.
Surely that's worth a goal, Mícheál, now, 3 of them.
Any Donegal, by any chance?
I can't say it wasn't Donegal. Now you've 1 more chance now.
You've 1 more chance.
You've got 3 of them. You've got Mayo, you've got Galway, and you've Cavan.
It's a Leinster county.
The only there's a big Mayo Mead connection. I don't know if that's worth.
Jim threw in a lovely hint there now. It was a Leinster county, and it wasn't Dublin.
You went 10 to 1, gents.
Yeah. Go with your gut there, Ado.
I'm going Mead.
You're dead right. I knew there's great. He was with the Ulster Bank, and he honestly believed you should play your football where you're living. And he won about 8 or 9 Galway medals with Tuam Stars. He was transferred then. I know John very well. He was out in Meath, and while he was out there, the bishop was visiting, and we were all invited to come there. And John was a great man for, it wouldn't be church language. And we were inside in the parish priest's house waiting for the bishop to come in. And John was looking at the pictures, and the PP told him, now, no bad language while the bishop is here. Next thing, the door opened and in comes the bishop, and he walked over towards John. John was looking at a picture of the Pope, and John's remarks were, why, Jesus, you have a great picture of the boss there. To the bishop that had come from Rome.
I'm glad the current Mayo team don't have the same beliefs, because we wouldn't have a team to be all playing for Dublin.
There's 1 more question now, and I left it to the end because I knew the Dublin one would be tough. Mayo won 7 national leagues in a row from 33 to 39. They opted out in 1940, and they won again in 41, and the league then were suspended for 5 years on account of the war. Now, name a player that played in all those league finals. 7 in a row, and then opting out and the other. A good player and a well-known player. He had to be that length playing.
He had a well-known son, Mícheál, didn't he?
He had a well-known son.
Is this? Yeah, go on, Cora. I think we both think the same thing.
Is it Sean? Not is he too? Sean Flanagan? No.
No. I'd say is it Kenny?
You're not speaking about Enda.
No.
His
father.
Yeah, Henry Kenny was the man.
Henry, yeah.
You know,
I'll give them that.
Yeah. Well, you have to give them that.
We were conferring. It's allowed.
So quite a difficult round, but there's more to come here. Now we're now moving north to a wonderful county of Donegal. Eamon McGee and Neil Gallagher. First question will go to Eamon. Name the Donegal man who won an All-Ireland senior football medal with Cavan.
Managing or playing, Mia?
Or playing. Okay.
I'll have to happen for you, Mia. You want to give me that? I'm supposed to whisper to me. Never mind that. Geez, I don't know, Mia.
Any inspiration that comes a little bit late?
Columbo McDare, was it?
The very man.
What?
The very man. No, he
Was
played
that
with
it?
lots of counties. He played for Sligo for a while. He was a Donegal man. He played with Gavin. He was a very good footballer. And the medal he won was in the polo grounds in 1947. He was on that team. He was that good. So that's a good point now. You're on the way back now. You set a bit. Now, Eamon, second question. When did Donegal win the Ulster Senior Football Championship for the first time? For the
1972, Mia.
You have it. Yeah, it's not part of the question. Who did I beat in that? Not part of the question. You would get mark. That's it. 1972. They beat Tyrone 213 to 111. They're good since then, you could say. Now we're on to Neely. When Donegal won the All-Ireland final of 1992, Anthony Molloy captained the team. He made a famous acceptance speech. Can you recall anything really special about the finish of that speech from Anthony Molloy?
He shouted out Psalms for the Hulls.
Say that again.
He shouted out Psalms for the Hulls.
You're right. From the hills, we say. You say from the hulls. That's right. That's I can see in Lifton Cup, Sam for the hills. And I made sure I'd been Donegal when that cup arrived. Because a strange little thing, it won't take long to tell it. I was up in Donegal the week before the final. I went up to the golf club. It was a very fine day. I met 3 people there talking about the final. And one of them knew I was from Kerry. They invited me to golf with them. And all the way around, they were asking me this and that and the other thing. What's it like when this, that? And we had a lovely round. And then later on, when we were finished, I wanted to go to Guido to the guy. And I said goodbye to them. And one of them said to me, I suppose the 4 of us will never again meet. And I said, if Donegal win on Sunday, I'll be back on this golf course on Tuesday morning at 10 o'clock and I want to see the 3 of you there. And I went away. It was Guido was saying to myself, the 4 of us will never again meet. As we know, they turned in a wonderful display of good football. They won. And later that night, I went out to the hotel in Malahide just to meet them. I had met some of them after the game. And I was going through the throng up the middle of the hall, and I got to this guy in front of me. And he put his hand on my shoulder, and he was trying to say something. Very difficult to make out what he was trying to say. I had told him, I'll be there at 10 in the morning, we'll all meet there. And I figured out in the 3rd attempt by him, what he was saying was, could you ever make it 12 o'clock? So we were all there at 12 o'clock and we had a wonderful day. Now, Neil, will Touré, Gaelic games are now played 15 aside. How many players were on teams in the early years of the GAA? It's 15 now. What was it? First All-Ireland and for a few later. How many members on the team?
21.
Better you're getting. 21 is right. 21 players. It was reduced to 17 3 years later. And to reduce to 15, I think, in 1913. Now, 21 players with a lot of people around. We have now reached the gold question. Name the county team. I don't think you'll be able for it. But I have to read what was written down here for me. I don't know who did it. Name the county team that was the first to run on out into Croke Park, carrying numbers on their jerseys. Numbers were unknown until then. Name the county team who was the first to run out onto Croke Park carrying numbers on their jerseys.
Give us a decade, Mícheál. Please, Dennis.
There was no hints for Mayo.
There's nothing here that I should answer questions.
You have an extra question.
A long time ago, that's all I'll say. Or it's a quite. It's the first time numbers appeared.
There's a white number. No, first time numbers appeared.
What was it? You're to name the team now.
Right.
It was a hurling game, by the way. It was a hurling.
No. Well, chance, Cora.
You're miles away from it. Miles away. Now, I know you won't believe it. It was Donegal hurlers. They were in the All-Ireland. They won the Ulster Championship, and they were in the All-Ireland semi-final against Limerick.
What year?
You want to hear? It was the 19. It was a different year. It was meant to be 1923, but wasn't actually played until 1924. They all ran late that time. The Donegal team, they had their colours. They were first out in the field. They only scored 1 point. I think Limerick had maybe 5. Limerick had 7 goals and 4 points. So they were well beaten. They were never in an All-Ireland semi-final since then. So that's it now. The questions were hard, but there's no making people think. Now, Nathan now will have the scores for the different teams.
Yeah, it was an incredibly tough round. So the scores are, at the end of round 2, we're going to have one last playoff to decide our winner, but 2 teams are going to drop out because you're out of the running. There's a chance for one last goal. So at a scoreline of 1-4, we have Mayo. With 1-5, we have Dublin. And then with 1-7, we have Donegal, and Kerry are on 2-6. So Kerry are on 12 points, Donegal are on 10 points, and ye two are going to go into one. You'll bring your scores into the final round, I think, Jim, and you might go through. We have one last question where you got to go and guess the player from your province that we're talking about. I'll just remind everybody listening in that this is all in aid of the Dublin Neurological Institute. Get on to gofundme.com/Jim-Gavin. Make a donation. €20 all we're asking for, and you could win a training session for your club with Jim Gavin. Anywhere in the country you'll travel, and your club will win a full kit as well. There's tickets for the All-Ireland football final up for grabs also, so get onto that. It's all up on otbsports.com if you missed out on that and you want to get involved. So we'll whittle it down, Jim, I think. It's okay. Donegal against Kerry, but Kerry have a 2-point lead. So a goal on offer here. We'll go with Donegal first. They have to get this or it's all over.
Okay, so in this round, guys, it's who am I? So first up, Neil and Eamon and Neil. So who am I? In 1987, age 16, I played on my county minor team, beating Meath in the All-Ireland final. In 1991, I won my first senior provincial medal, and later that year, we won the All-Ireland football title, our county's first since 1968. And I won my second All-Ireland medal in 1994. I have the same first name as my dad. He's regarded as one of the game's greatest and won 3 All-Ireland medals with our county in the 1960s. Who am I?
No. I was definitely down, but...
So, 87, age 16, played minor county All-Ireland, beating Meath, won an All-Ireland medal in 91 and 94. My dad has the first name as my dad, and he's regarded as one of the game's all-time greats. He won 3 All-Irelands with his county in the 60s. Who am I?
We'll say we James McCartan.
And he managed, I think, down in the
2010 final.
2010 final.
Yep, James McCartan is right. Well done.
All right.
Okay,
so it all comes down to this. It all comes down to this. So a 1-point lead for Kerry or for Donegal. Kerry have to get this, or Donegal win.
Okay, so for Kieran and David, who am I? I was born in 1983 and played for my county for 17 seasons. I have won 4 All-Stars, 3 Munster Championships, and 2 National Leagues, and 3 Fitzgibbon Cups. I hold the all-time hurling championship record of 74 appearances. My club is Stradbally. Who am I? Born 83, played for my county for 17 seasons. He won 3 Fitzgibbons. At senior level, 4 All-Irelands, 4 All-Stars, 3 Munster Championships, 2 National Leagues. He holds the all-time hurling championship record of 74 appearances, and he plays for Stradbally. Who am I?
Yeah, we have them.
Brick Welsh.
Michael Brick Walsh from Waterford is correct.
Right there, lads.
That was a handy one. Even we got that. Even we knew that. Sure, up here.
Well done, Nathan. Do you want me to give Dublin and Mayo their questions?
Go on, let them go home with a bit of confidence heading into the championship.
Okay, so for let me see if I got them here. For Cora and Aidan, I played for my county minor team age 15. I won my first Connacht minor medal in 1965, and I also made my senior debut the same year. In 1966, I played on the under-21 county final team to win our first All-Ireland football title that grade. I won 4 Connacht titles in a row from 77 to 1980. I won 2 All-Irelands playing in midfield. I won 2 All-Stars, playing in midfield. In my last inter-county game in 1985, I was carried off the field by the opposition players Willie Joe Padden and Eugene Laffin from Mayo.
Dermot Early.
Dermot Early is correct. Well done, Aidan.
Come on, Aidan.
Well done. Dermot Early from senior from Roscommon. Well done. And for Mossy and Paddy, your who am I question is, I played in the forwards. In 1988, I won a minor All-Ireland title, and in 1990, an under-21 title. At senior level, I won 5 All-Ireland hurling titles, 4 National Leagues. In 57 appearances for my county, I scored 34 goals and 194 points. I have 9 All-Stars. My auntie Peggy won 4 All-Ireland medals with our county camogie team. My nickname is the Dodger. Who am I?
EJ Kerry.
Yeah. Well done, Mossy. Fantastic stuff. Back to you, Nathan, with the scores on the board.
All right, well done, everybody. So our winners, our resounding winners in the end, are David Moran and Kieran Donaghy. Well done to Kerry. Hard luck to Mayo, to Donegal and Dublin. You never lost at all, Jim, in Dublin when you were in charge, but things have clearly gone to pot very quickly here.
No comment there, Nathan. I thought the guys I'd just like to take this opportunity really to thank Eamon, Neil, Cora, Aidan, Mossy, Paddy, David and Kieran for their time this evening, for making their time to be here with us. The Dublin Neurological Institute, it is a centre of excellence. It's caring for people with all forms of brain and spine and nerve disorders. It is a charity, and it had to cancel a lot of its fundraising events. It's associated with the Mayo Hospital that's been very good to the GAA. It's in the shadow of the GAA, only a driver and a tree iron in terms of distance away from Croke Park. So they look after over 60,000 patients, outpatients per year, and 900 people attend their day ward for treatment. So thanks again, Cora and guys, for your support, and for Mícheál as well. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks very much, everybody. And again, get on to gofundme.com/Jim-Gavin. Jim is just itching to get back on the training field, and it could be with your club. All you got to do is get on and donate €20. And as Jim has just said, the Dublin Neurological Institute, a very, very worthy cause. Jim, my thanks to you as well for all your time and effort you put into this. And Mícheál Ó Muircheartaigh, those were tough questions. You've left them reeling.
Yeah, well, it was the most enjoyable, really. And it's an indication of all the work the GAA have put into this, you know, looking after people, visiting people, doing the best they can. They're a credit to sport in general, the way they've reacted since this virus came here. A little bit to Gaeilge to finish. Gomeramid Bioer and Aumsharish. That means regardless of who wins anything or nothing in the year ahead, may we all be alive and well and looking forward to another final on this day next year. Slán a go léir agus gur a míle